Hello, this is Marcus Davis, Integrella, and welcome to this screencast on process simulation using the Oracle BPM suite. It's a really great feature of the product that enables a designer to pinpoint exactly where you can get the best return on investment. This video is part of our SOA and BPM Integration Architect series, and you might want to check out some of our other videos aimed at architects, managers, and designers embarking on middleware projects. So here we are in JDeveloper. In order to save some time, I pre-created an example process. I'm going to show you how you can use the simulator to find out how much this process costs the business and which parts of the business process are cost effective to automate. So in this scenario, a large organisation like a retail bank has a manual paper-based process for customer change of address, whereby if the customer wishes to change their address, they need to write in and then that request is processed manually. So the process starts by the customer writing or faxing a letter. The back office then receives that letter, performs a lookup on the customer relationship management system, checks the signature is correct. If it is, it then updates the CRM, and that person then updates the marketing system by keying all the details into those systems. If the signatures don't match, then the user needs to update the relevant person in the front office department, who will then telephone the customer and let them know that they need to do something else. So I'm going to show you how you can use the simulation functionality in Oracle BPM to calculate how much this process costs to run on a daily basis. And the way we do this in JDeveloper is to create a simulation model. So I need to do this by clicking on the BPM Project Navigation tab here. And then I'm going to expand the simulations area, and underneath simulation models I need to create a new simulation model. I'm going to call this change address. And now in here the simulation model lists all of the activities in the left pane, and for each activity I'm going to configure the duration and the cost to the business. So our process started with the customer posting their change of address letter, and really I'm not too concerned with measuring the cost of this activity because this is performed by the customer, him or herself. So I'm going to set the duration to 0 seconds and the cost to 0 as well. And the next step in the process was to receive the paper-based request. This I am interested in, and I'm going to presume that this takes roughly 5 minutes to execute at a cost of £5 to the business. I don't think that's unreasonable when you consider that people do get tied up in other activities during their working day and they might need to sort through the paper-based requests. And the next step in the process was to look up the customer on the CRM application. So let's say that takes another 5 minutes on average. And then after that we had check signature. Let's presume this takes only 1 minute, it's a quicker activity. That's a cost of £1. Then we needed to update the CRM system manually, and let's say that takes another 5 minutes. That's a cost of £5. And then we need to update marketing. Let's pretend that this system is not used as frequently, and therefore it may take this person 10 minutes to update. Maybe it's a bit more cumbersome as well. Then if the process fails, we need to update the front office team, and let's say that takes another 5 minutes. That's a cost of £5. And then the front office department would then need to get back in touch with the customer. And let's say this may take 10 minutes to complete because the customer may not be available the first time and may be difficult to contact. So let's just save this simulation model. What I also want to do is to specify the number of process instances to be created. And I'm going to assume in this example that on a typical day this bank receives 70 changes of address requests. So I can set that here. And now what we need to do is to create a simulation definition. So I'll create a new simulation definition here. Again, I'm going to call this change address. I'm going to include my simulation model that I created earlier. I'm going to run this for a full day. So I need to change the start and end time here. I'm going to change this to 1 day and 0 hours. So I can save that, save all, and you can see on my simulations tab here I can actually select my simulation model right here. I'm going to start this process off. And you can see that there are 70 processes that I configured and they're running through, and what's happening here is that there's a backlog building up around the receive paper request. And that's because this particular activity takes about 5 minutes to complete. So what I can look at now, if I just expand this tab, is that I can actually take a look at how long it's taking to run each of these particular activities. I'm going to drill down into this so I can actually see how long it takes to run each particular activity. And also, as well as the average process time, it's also important to take a look at the average wait time as well. Because wherever you find an activity's waiting, you'll typically find some waste in the process. So I can do a few other things here. I can change the speed, I can make it run in a faster mode. You can see these running through the process now. And also I can make this process run right through to the end, which I'll do now. And now I've done that, I want to take a look at the total cost of running this process on a daily basis to the business. And what I can see here is that it's actually cost the business £1,820 to run this process for 1 day. And when you consider that there are typically 220 working days in the year, this process is potentially costing the business around £400,000 a year to run. So with that in mind, I'd say that there's a strong business case to automate this process, or at least parts of this process. So thanks very much for listening, and please join us next time where we'll show you how you can automate this manual process in the Oracle BPM suite.